Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in a good mood. The sun's shining, the birds are singing, the squirrels are doing whatever it is they do, and I thought it was a perfect opportunity to sit inside and stare at a video game for a bit. And to that end, I've got a Setons match locked, loaded, and ready to go. So without any more of it to do, let's head on over planet side and see how these guys are going to get on. So, as always, no changes here to the general format. Let's call this Team 1 up here and this Team 2. Taking a look at the teams and how they're set up. Up here at the back, going air for Team 1 in Volvo Beige. It's Smurf Hunter opening, rather unsurprisingly, first air at the back there. And team member number 2 down here at the cliffs for Team 1. It's Bearman in Pontiff White, and he's also opening first air, going cyber in first and second air, in fact. Interesting penalty there, of course, on the expansion for the cyber air. Team member number 3 running front here for Team 1 is Crusader. He's already on the move to get some of that all-important mass right at the front there. He's going UEF and opening first land, going to use that tanky defensive advantage that the UEF have, of course, to try and hold the land bridge. And last but definitely not least, up here at the beach for Team 1, it's M&B in baby blue, also going UEF and also opening first land. So that is Team 1. Over here for Team 2, right at the bottom in Ferrari red, it's Nuakax, or rather as he's more commonly known, generally SC Account, but he loves to be difficult, so he had to write his name backwards for us all. And he's also going Aeon and not opening first air, going first land. Makes no difference, of course, with Aeon for the expansionist side of things for the engineers, but I'm sure I'm going to go with he knows something I don't, because I suck at this game. And team member number 2 up here at the cliffs for Team 2, it's Jackie. I haven't seen much of this guy, and he's running, what is that? I guess that's Halib Orange. And he's going Cybrin, opening first land, second air. And then over here at the front for Team 2 in Breast Cancer Awareness Pink, and he's way up here on the march already, Shotador. It's Hodor's slightly intelligent older brother, and he's going UEF, making his move towards the middle. He also opened first land. And last but not least, it's Honarius in Vigorous Violent Violet, and he's going Aeon, opening first land. So that is the teams, or they are the teams, and that's how they match up. Little engineer going pop there. So guys on the walkway in the middle, 2 defensive, 2 UEF players already getting stuck in, going after that mass in a big way. We'll check the reclaim counter in just a moment after this initial engagement has subsided, and we'll see who has actually made out better on the mass front. I'm going to go with Shortador's got to be in front at the moment. He seems to be going after a lot more of the mass than Crusader. He got most of the 2 Salem wrecks there, and there's one more back here as well, which he's going after. Going to grab the what is that? Is that a Loyalist wreck? Looked like a Loyalist wreck first, and then going to go on to the Salem. So let's just take a look at the 2 guys. Crusader, of course, all of that mass going straight in the bin. He's full barring. 2,000, well, 3,000 mass scooped up there to 3,700 for Shortador, upgrading furiously, of course, probably trying to get those mexes in play ASAP, and therefore definitely bottlenecking on power. No surprises there, but neither of these guys causing any critical damage yet as we move into minute 4 in this game. Shortador's doing slightly worse of the 2, having grabbed a little bit more reclaim. He's down to around 9,000 HP. Crusader sitting happily on around 10,000 HP. But look at this little run-by happening here from Crusader. Going straight in there, trying to get down, harass these expanding engineers, pick up mexes as they go. Scout plane and an interceptor already out for M&B. M&B is pretty hardy player, of course. You can see him sporting 2,287. Definitely the highest ranking player in this game by quite a clear margin. So he's going to be the guy to look out for in this. And you see he's up against Jackie running 1,600. So it's a slight imbalance there on the cliff versus the beach in the top lake, the top pond. Down here, Honarius is on 970. And Bearman's on 1178 in terms of ranking, so they're also giving up a deficit Team 2 in that pond as well. So expect difficulties for their 2 guys facing off on the Navy side of things. Shorter doors on 1185, Crusaders on 1195. That makes very little difference. SC account, though, little bit ahead of Smurf Hunter, so at least Team 2 has the advantage on the air game if you're going purely on ranking. Nice snag there, though, from Crusader, picking up one of his mirrors engineers, preventing that hydrocarbon from going online. And these guys have just been wailing away on each other. You can hear it going off in the background there. 3,500 hit points left on the clock, and then he eats a Lobo shell from back here, drops him into the red, 2,800 and climbing. But anyway, he's not going to stick around. Crusader definitely winning the territory battle, and although of course he probably didn't necessarily scoop up as much mass, no, excuse me, in that exchange he's also managed to get on top of the mass game. I was going to say it probably didn't matter too much that Shorter Door got ahead on mass there, because it was all getting wasted from both of those parties anyway, but it does make a difference when he also won the game to begin with. Nice bombing run there from MMB, though, taking out that radar of Jackie's at the cliffs. Another radar going down. No, it's not, because the guy piloting that bomber got a bit confused and got mixed up with a stone. Wanted to go after that instead of the main one. Shorter Door is going to try and place a PD here to prevent the spread of Crusaders' forces. The problem is he's got bunches of Lobos. In fact, it's mostly Lobos here, and that's going to prevent Shorter Door from locking this down. Easy to deal with when you've got that light artillery. T1 PD ain't gonna stop me, he says. Meanwhile, a sliver down in Honorius's waters, just chilling by the cliff's edge there. So Bearman already has Navy moving on to this side. We do have a T1 torpedo launcher in place for Honorius for the moment, who's currently going straight for T2 Navy. That's what he's going to be playing. Going to try and get some of those T2 submarines in place as best they can. Both of the guys at the cliffs have claimed their side islands, so no crazy unusual strategies going on there from either team. Crusader chilling in the water, going to grab an upgrade, probably going to go, I'd imagine, T2 engineering suite, and grab the associated hit points that go with that. Shorter Doors also on an upgrade. We'll check out on where they're going in just a second. But look at this, still units from Crusader way back here. They left a trail of destruction, not that I can really see, but definitely slowed things up. How's Shorter Door doing on power? Just about head above water, still trying to grab that hydro, but 17 mass to 40. That's a huge deficit up front there between Shorter Door and Crusader. So Crusader definitely got the better of this in the opening portions of this game. Lots of interceptors out for M&B, flying recon over the top of Jackie's base. Jackie on an upgrade there on his commander. But it's an awful lot of air power from M&B and an awful lot of sea power as well. It's crossing the pond, and it's like we were saying earlier, it's going to be a tough ask for Jackie to win this top pond facing off against M&B. He is such a decent player. I've only cast him on Setons, but he definitely plays a fair old amount of Setons. But look at this. Finally got a naval yard online, Jackie, just in time for Thunderhead frigates to turn up from MMB, and that's going to be a loss in the pond already at minute 9. A nice little drop, meanwhile, down here on the rear section of the map by Bearman, going straight after Honorius's little expansion here. 1, 2, 3 T2 mexes now all in jeopardy. Luckily, there is an eruptor in place back here that should potentially, actually no, it won't. They can just sit back here out of range and pick off those mexes. The question is, how fast can he pump out some T1 units to deal with this? One Aurora already on the scene, another one rolling off the pad. I think Bearman might snag just one. Of course, 3,000 HP to chew through there on those T2 mexes. That's quite a long way to go. And Honorius might get lucky out of this. He might deal with all of those. Indeed, those Mantis are moving off, trying to acquire new targets, but I don't think they're going to get too far. Just one left. Aurora's chasing down. Aurora's slightly slower, of course. They've got that ranged advantage. It's the way they work. Another naval factory going down, or being placed down over here for Jackie, but it's soon to go down, I think, just as a Thunderhead turns up and finds it. But meanwhile, this one over here destroyed and out of commission. So MNB already making life difficult for his mirror down here at the cliffs. Build capacity, primary target here. All of those engineers are soon to decorate the bottom of the ocean there. Meanwhile, Crusader pushing in the middle, and once again, you can take a look at the mass income. 59 plays 19. Shortador is having issues up here at the front. I think it's only going to be a matter of time before he capitulates. So things not looking great for Team 2 right now. I would go so far as to say it's a slightly stacked setup. Yes, they've got the advantage with the slightly higher ranked air player running at the back here in the form of SC account versus Smurf Hunter, but it's such an advantage getting both of the ponds and having a slightly stronger front runner player. Yes, there's not much in it on here, but of course if you have both the ponds on either side, you really can put an awful lot of fire onto that central land bridge. You're almost guaranteeing a win for your front player. Another drop coming in there from Bearman. That's been spotted, however. Ping going down. Seems to be heading straight after Hanarius. His mirror not going to try and cripple the front man any more than he already is. 2 moles leading the charge. Mantis and 3 Medusa in tow. So that is a Mech's killing squad there. Extra little bit of damage going down from that artillery. We'll deal with those nicely. But we've got T2 on the field now for Shortador. 1 Mongoose, I think that is, heading straight down, taking out the Medusa in 1 volley, and I think it's going to be able to save that Mechs as well. Straight in on that Mantis. Oh, and look at that, a Blaze turns up as well. So good work from Team 2 there, securing their land game from drops. But look at this. Is that a bunch of Barracudas? Yes, it is. 4 T2 Cybran submarines are now in here, and production is paused. I guess Anarius is doing other stuff that's utilizing a lot of his eco. Production is paused from the factory, but he is assisting from the engineers. But that's not a good look at all. 1 Vesper versus 4 Barracudas. He's trying to spam up torpedo launchers. The question is, get enough up in time. If they lose this pond as well, I'd go so far as to say that could be game at minute 13 for Team 1. Gunships out for Jackie. Renegades trying to deal with this small band of T1 ships that are incoming, but we've got a bulwark ship and a governor, a cruiser in place there for MNB, and he can sit there with impunity, just bombarding the base with those cruise missiles. There are some zappers in place back here which are trying to keep up with it. Jack is building more as we speak, but you've got to hate the look of that. ASFs though now on the field for SC account. 1 random Swiftwind over here. How are we looking at the top for the air game? We're also seeing the arrival of some ASFs out from Smurf Hunter, so not a great deal between these two guys. SC account does seem to be dramatically ahead on eco though, by as much as say 25% almost. 20% I'd say. So that's quite a significant advantage for the rearguard player. But losing both ponds in the first 15 minutes. I know of course Hanarius still has 1 T2 naval factory in place. He still has some torpedo launchers, but that's not a good look at all. And Salem class destroyers start turning up, and it's going to work straight away on both the base and the build capacity down here on Hanarius's naval factory. That is not a good look, Team 2. What, if anything, can you do? A whole bunch of build capacity getting caught out here, trying, I guess, to hoover up some mass so they can get some eco to do something to repel this attack, but to be honest, just don't see it happening. One T2 factory back here as well for Jackie. That's in danger of future naval bombardment. He's trying to counter with some Vipers, some mobile missile launchers of his own. It's a little bit of a tough ask, especially with these bulwark ships about. And of course the governors themselves have TAC missile defense. But look at this, Shortador is getting a little bit swamped here by T1 right here at the front. And SC account has just said what we've all been talking about. This is very stacked. It does look a little bit stacked. You have to admit it. Even on paper, it looks stacked. Certainly now, though, seeing the state of affairs, Shortador down to around 11,500 HP. He's got some tech on the field. So does Crusader, though. You can see the skyboxers coming in there. But look at this. Anarius has to get himself closer to the shoreline, lest those Barracudas decide to target him. And now this naval factory is about to get popped, and that represents the last naval factory on the field for Team 2. That is a sorry state of affairs on the Setons, as the governors start to build up back here as well. Looks to be about 3 now as well. Look at this, M&B setting up shop on Jackie's doorstep, throwing down a naval factory right next to the cliffs for easy reinforcement. Renegades coming in now, going straight after the Cooper, the torpedo boat. That represents the highest amount of damage in this area, going after this newly constructed naval factory. Jackie doing what he can to try and get back in this naval game, but it's such a tough ask. M&B has noted the issues. He's coming along, but look at that. That's a ton of cormorants. The T2 torpedo bombers there for Cybran. And Smurf Hunter getting involved as well with his ASFs, running some cover down here for these Barracudas as we get a few skimmers. Aeon torpedo bombers coming out to harass this little fleet. Keep this alive. It's of course doubly hard at the beach. You're set up so much closer to the water. You don't have that nice defensive bonus of that cliff edge to hide behind. You think about it back here, that's a lot tougher thing to get your lot tougher positioning to get fire on. Well, I suppose it's not too bad. It does dip down dramatically from the left there, but not that there's any danger. But holy rusted metal, Batman, that's a lot of engineers, and only a portion of them actually assisting that T2 naval factory at the moment, producing Siren class cruisers. Now that he has those waters secured, wants to get a little bit of extra air, anti-air power in there. You can see one on its way already, but this is looking just dire at the moment for Team 2. The only saving grace is the amount of ASFs on the field that account seems to be pumping out. Is that reclaim, or is that actually 328 mass per tick income there for account versus 194 for Smurf Hunter? So account considerably more well versed, I think, at rear guard position for Setons. I mean, Smurf Hunter seemed to get his initial ASFs out onto the field at about the same time, so his build order's pretty good, but hasn't managed to keep up in the eco race. See if that makes any difference at all to this game as it goes on. Venerius trying to do what he can to fight off this horde of ships sitting on his doorstep, but it's going to be nigh on impossible at this point. He's starting to produce blazes. It's not a bad counter in decent number. The question is, can he get a decent number together? He's managed to hold on to this rear position right at the back here, despite the odd drop that came his way. But look at the mess in here. M&B can just sit in this little harbour area now and harass simultaneously both Jackie and Shortador. I've been intrigued though by the lack of action in the center. Shortador's caught up slightly in the last game with his mirror there. Crusader on 86, he's on 63. But 2 Salems now and a Siren wailing away on this base, and that build capacity getting popped there on that T2 land factory. He could do with switching up though and taking care of some of these blazes, which is exactly what they do. One of those Salems taken down to around 2,300 hit points. But of course, the more cruisers that turn up in these bay areas around here, that's going to cut down Account's ability to use the advantage he's got over Smurf Hunter. The more cruisers and anti-air fire that litters these shores make life considerably more difficult. And I've got it sped up at 4.3 at the moment, but sim speed you can see is running on normal speed. Getting to that point in the game where stuff starts to slow down. And Honerius taking quite a bit of fire. He's down to around 6,200 HP, trundling off to safer territory. Of course, safer territory is rather an academic thing when you're facing off against an opponent who's in the water and going Cybran, because those Salems, of course, can just decide to sprout legs and go chasing after you, Imber as they are. They're not really Imber, they're incredibly cool. I just hate that Cybran have them. And Restorer's out now for Account after Honerius has requested help. How many air factories are we looking at here? Looks to be 1 major air factory and a ton of land factories producing engineers. And we're working on mass T3 power now for Account. He's running 17k to 18k on Smurf Hunter, so he's slightly behind on the power game. And you can see he's just about got his head above water. It's incredibly costly, of course, producing ASFs and Restorers airwise. But what the hell's going on here? Jackie has loaded up his ACU into a Dragonfly T2 transport for Cybran. Where are you going, sir? He's heading right the way off. He's got to be really careful. See a ton of beige ASFs in the area there. SC Account's getting involved. He needs to pop as many of those as possible. They don't want to fight too long over the top of Siren's cruisers. He's got 3 cruisers in there, and they're going to be hammering away on those aircraft, primarily going after the Restorers actually at the moment. But this is so very dangerous. He won't be showing up on any radars at the moment. But where's he going? Is he going for a drop? We haven't seen one of these in one of my casts for a while. I think the last time we saw it was a classic Setons game with Jaguar, and SC Account has emerged victorious on that little ASF battle, and he's done it with quite a lot to spare as well. He needs to get away from these cruisers now, though. Restorers have stopped funneling into that position, so they've retargeted the ASFs there for SC Account. He draws them away, and this is going to be really interesting. Let's take a look at what Jackie's got on that commander. If we can, do I even know how to select it? Gonna have to see when he drops. I imagine if he's going for a drop, he's probably got some kind of T3 engineering suite on that. That is usual. You need the build power to land and throw down that T1 PD immediately. Where is Bearman's ACU? That is the question, the $65 million question. So he's in the water, and unless Jackie has access to the torpedo upgrade on that comm, he's not going to be able to do anything about that. He is moving over here, so he's changed his rally point, and he's dropping just north of this little beach section here. So that's quite interesting. That's not a killing blow by any means, and that does put him in harm's way. But I guess he just felt he was doing nothing back here. M&B was just going to slowly dismantle his base. You can see the engineers pouring out of that T1 naval factory and coming in here now to start their little incursion, start building stuff on here. Attack missiles coming in one at a time, finding that T2 land factory is going to go down, but he makes it onto dry land. I don't believe it. He did have a deceiver on board, of course. I should have pointed that out. So that would have made it not impossible for him to show up on radar. It's one of the awesome things about Cybrin, throwing down that T1 PD immediately. Engineers coming in to try and cap or reclaim, but he's got 3 in place already. Radar next, then shield generator. What are these engineers going to do, if anything? Can they try and... They're going straight after that Deceiver. Interesting. Want to cut down that little intel advantage. What is next? Jackie throws down a Cerberus. So that's going to be a nice little hold for the minute. Do we see anything being diverted? Not at the moment. To be fair, Bearman does not have a lot on the ground. He's focused primarily on Navy, as you can understand, facing off against Daenerys. He's been wanting to grab that pond. That's been his advantage, so he's not going to have a lot of tech on the ground or anything like that. So if Jackie burrows in here, he could cause a little bit of a nuisance. He's going to be able to grab this mass point, so that's a small victory at least, but very minor when you consider the amount of damage that M&B has caused over on this left-hand side. But look at this. Crusaders going for a push now, but a run-by happening at exactly the same time from Shortador. Crusader looking very turtly indeed in here, though. 4 Ravagers now operational. He's got a bunch of flares. He's got attack missile defense buzzkills, and he's got triads back here as well. Some T3 units mixed in there, some Titans, and he's going to try and get right in the back here to start putting some pressure on the lesser guarded places. Interesting to see, but Restorers coming in over now for SC Accountants. Battle finally heating up here. It's a tough ask. What actually, if anything, is he going for? It's tough to see because the amount of bubble reverberation there from those bulwark cruisers. They're going after the flares, the T3 SAMs that are being spammed up there. M&B on some kind of upgrade under the water, and he's thrown up an air cleaner as well. Restorer's looking pretty strong in there, and just going straight after the build capacity, cut down everything that's in there. But Smurf Hunter coming in with a ton of ASFs, going straight after those Restorers, but that looked like a Solace in there as well. T3 torpedo bombers could be interesting, and it could be really interesting as well when you think that SC Account has been ahead in the air game. You can see them coming in here. If he can hold on to the air advantage here, things might not look too good for M&B. He might have got way too cocky bringing his commander onto this side of the map. He's trying to spam up anti-air as quickly as he can. He's got the shield upgrade on there. It's an extra 24,000 HP, but that's been whittled down to around 8,000 hit points. Meanwhile, Jackie's little incursion over here moved in with a bunch of Mantis. What's on the ground? Bearman's not going to try and take it out immediately. He's going to try and halt the assault, throwing down tons of autocannons and Cerberus turrets. He's also got an upgrade going on his comm there. M&B still not in too bad shape though. 8,700 HP. He needs to get as many bulwark cruisers or bulwark ships down here as quickly as possible. But if it's very tricky and dangerous, because if SC Account builds up enough Solaces, he can get an outrageous run by, and those things kick out so much naval damage. It's unreal. Another mech's taken down over here. Jackie started work on a Monkey Lord but changed his mind. He's now going for attack missile launchers. It's not a bad shout. You can knock out these 3 power gens, take out all of these mexes. You reckon he'd need about 10 or 11 attack missiles to completely cripple Bearman's eco. Spy planes out over the rear portion of the map there for Smurf Hunter, just trying to keep an eye on what Account is up to. And he's caught up Account quite considerably in eco. Now just a deficit of around 30 to 40 mass there. And you can see he really has been focusing on Solaces. How many Solaces are we looking at here? 10 Solaces. That's a ton of torpedoes that they can drop. M&B needs to be so freaking careful. If I was him, I'd be loading him up onto a transport. Of course, he doesn't want to get plucked out of the sky by Account's ASFs either. and doesn't look like Smurf Hunter's going to be gaining any kind of air dominance anytime soon. Nice little bit of micro there from Account. Definitely keeping his head above water. He doesn't want to stay too close, of course, to the main pack as well, because that's a lot of SAMs in place now, and of course the cruisers in the area as well. It's a lot of anti-air in general, but Account definitely feeling a snipe on the cards. That could really open things up in this game when you think Bearman's under pressure over here. Not an amazing amount of pressure, but pressure nonetheless. One mech's down, another one down as well, so that's T2, two T2 mechs is out of commission. Zappers being hastily erected at the front here for Bearman, but he has got access. If he goes there, he can take out at least 1, 2, 3 more mechs, as he could also threaten these naval factories back here and all that build capacity. Solace is in the air though for Account. I know what he's trying to do. Can he get the position to do it? M&B's got to get more bulwark ships down here. He needs more shield coverage if he's going to defend that commander. But you've got to admire the gutsy play. Just move down there, set up shop. Why not? Henarius down here trying to build up some T2 artillery and use that to clear out this bay area so he can take his base back. Tough ask though. Surprised these Salems haven't come on shore and started to move down here to take out some of this stuff. Their range is excellent. You don't need to threaten too hard. And Shocker's going in first, so he's using strap bombers to clear out the bulwark shields. And Solace is flanking around the left side. We got a command. Their rally point is here. They're going to try and come in from this angle. Smurf Hunter knows what's up. He's coming in to try and deal with them, but it's an awful lot of torpedo bombers. And this is why you go Aeon if you're a rear guard Setons. Their air is incredible, thanks to not only the restorers, of course, but these Solaces. The amount of torpedoes dropping into the water there. You can see all the yellow dots. And M&B, how are you going to fare? That's a lot of torpedoes coming in your way. Shield evaporating, shield gone, health gone, M&B gone, minute 27. Down he goes. So Team 1, first team to lose a player. Very surprisingly, M&B just getting a little bit overexcited there with his progress, but still gutsy play. Love to see that. It would have been a completely different story, of course, had they been ahead, but what the hell, at exactly the same time, Shotador gets taken out as well, so that advantage quickly dissipates as Team 2 lose their front man as well, opening the door for land attacks there down the middle. Oh, and full share is on, and of course, as we know in Supreme Commander in FAF, every time someone hosts a game with full share on, a fairy dies an agonizing death. That's such a shame to see. Still, we won't let it get us down. Tac missile barrage there from SC Account. What's the target? Looks like it's going after some of the SAMs in that bay there. How is Jackie doing? Jackie under threat meanwhile. Renegades piling on the pressure. He's down to 5,000 hit points. He's trying to spam up shields into the red. 3,000 hit points. Oh, this is going to be close. 2,000, 1,500, 1,200. Shield blinks on at exactly the right time. 1,300 hit points left. He starts another construction of another one. Just blinks on in time as that other shield dies. The question is, can he hold out? Another shield online. 1,200 hit points just as that other one's about to go out, but Bearman running out of renegades. It goes down. He's down to 1,000 hit points, and that's gone on, and he's outside the bubble. He has to get inside. Account turns up at just the right time, though, for reinforcements. Smurf Hunter comes in to assist as well. Another wave of renegades incoming. This is going to be incredibly close. Jackie, 1,500 hit points and climbing, focusing on building as many shield gens as he can. Bubble online. And I don't think Bearman's got the killing power to finish him off. I love what he was trying to do there, but there are now Salems moving in from below. Jackie is in an incredibly dangerous situation here. Moves out of the bubble, has to get out of range of those ships. Account wins that engagement. Shockers and Solaces, though, just Solaces, excuse me, going after Bearman's ACU. Bearman knows what's up. He's trying to get his comm out of water as quickly as he can. It's going to be close. No, it's not. I think he's going to get out of there just fine. He didn't manage to get the right angle on him, and Bearman was well on things. They were actually moving on there to see if they could grab Smurf Hunter, but to no avail. Smurf Hunter, of course, topping the table now, 497 mass, thanks to his acquisition of all of M&B's stuff. M&B's base, of course, completely untouched for the entirety of this game, having pushed all of the action in this top pond down onto this side of the map. But those Solaces can at least thin out these ships, which is exactly what Jackie needs. God damn, that was close. 4,000 hit points on the clock there for that comm. He's looking considerably healthier to just a few moments ago. Thank God I moved the camera up when I did. I could have potentially missed it. More Renegades in production, though, and Starlifters coming over here as well. Not sure what the purpose is of that exactly. These Solaces can literally take out all the shipyards now. And this is the thing, you might win the ponds, but if you've lost the air game, which Smurf Hunter really has against SC account, at least for the moment, then your victory is likely to be short-lived. Meanwhile, back here, we've got Salem's moving on to ground. Tenarius forced way back here, trying to throw up shields to keep his commander covered, and Crusader plunging on into enemy territory with a Fat Boy in tow. What has account got planned, if anything? Nothing at the moment to counter that land-wise, I don't think. He has got the restorers, though. There are a lot of skyboxers in the area. It's the only thing that concerns me. Jackie, how are you doing, sir? Looking a lot healthier, he says. Good to know, my friend. But these Solaces hanging 10 in a very ill-advised place indeed, just taking some casual cruiser fire. Needs to get in there and take out that naval facility if it can. And now Shocker's the order of the day, coming out of account's back pocket here, rallying over here in the sea. Wants to get a solution on someone's comm. Sim speed down to -1. And indeed, finally, those Solaces going after some of these ships. It's going to be at least one Salem down out of the picture there. There he goes. Another wave of ASFs incoming from Smurf Hunter. SC account trying to get his Solaces behind his own ASFs if he can. It's quite an even bunch. This is going to come down to micro. A little bit of posturing there. Trick is to get your ASFs in behind your opponents. It's not an easy thing to do, believe me. Fat Boy online and firing at support commanders out there for account. We have got a GC, though, that's in production. He needs to get that online ASAP. Certainly be able to deal with what's on the ground here. There's not a lot of units. It's all T1 except for some T2 anti-air, really. And Smurf Hunter setting up shop down here in the naval position, using that to produce engineers, sending it over this way. And Arius now with the opportunity to try and get his base back. Those boats have been recalled to try and defend the home territory. mobile missile launchers there for Jackie, some Vipers, but he's never going to get through that bank of zappers. That's just too many. He's still got those tac missile launchers. Yes, he does. Could be going after this naval factory. What is going on over here? Lots of renegades still on the field. What is that? That's a support commander. Don't worry, didn't miss anything too crucial. Not yet, anyway. GC very nearly finished indeed. I don't think Account's going to lose too much here, and he's going to be tough to grab as well. The sprawling nature of his base, he's going to be tough to cripple. Very often the case with the rearguard players on Setons. Meanwhile, significant air engagement there between Smurf Hunter and Account. Jackie needs to be a little bit careful, although this is mostly cruisers. In fact, that's a ton of cruisers. And he's going to use those to batter this base to death, while Bearman can come in with the renegades and grab the commander, who's not looking too healthy. He's on around 4,000 hit points and falling. Renegades coming in for a position. How well is Account going to do at fending this off? Solace is dropping torpedoes in the mountains. Jackie down to around 3,000 hit points and falling. This is going to be tight if he gets out of this one. I'd be impressed. And the Renegades hover above. Where are those Barracudas? There were some subs. There they are on the right, and that's got to be a death warrant then for Jackie. He flees into certain aquatic death. There he goes, Kaflooey. So brave work there from Jackie, having lost to M&B, lost his whole base, grabbed his comm, flew it up here, and it definitely hampered Bearman. Certainly enough to allow Hanerius potentially to get back in here. He's throwing down some artillery installations, wants to get some coverage on that base. We can try and get a base back up and online. GC, meanwhile, making contact here for Account, strolling in, firing that main beam laser at that shield, and that is going to be a dead Fat Boy and a nice, comfortable mass delivery for the one person on this map. Really don't want to get their hands on it if you're Team 1. Fat Boy potentially able to take out a ton of build capacity here. He's focusing primarily on that air factory, wants to take it out of commission, but the GC finishes the job first. Fat Boy down, and Wreck actually destroyed in it as well. There's a bit of a shame there for Team 2. But that ground that's just been made by Crusader is now going to get lost. All those units retreating. He's got nothing on the ground except for anti-air. And promptly Jackie's stuff reverts to Account's control, and it still doesn't put him ahead of Smurf Hunter because of the poor state of affairs over here at the cliffs for Team 2. M&B's old ships still sitting on there, going to work at all of the structures in this area. You kind of get an idea of the range that those governors have, threatening all of that stuff right over here. So if you lose this area, it's just really a matter of time before your base gets claimed, unless you've got a teammate who can help you out of the sticky situation. But Hanerius has at least managed to get a shield up, and he's got 2 miasmas online and a third about to come online. So that's potentially a decent amount of defense. You see how far they extend should Bearman's navy return, which you expect it will at some point in the near future. Indeed, as soon as I say it, in come the cruisers. And he doesn't really need to focus on anything else. I suppose Salem's would be a good idea, so he can attack on land once he's cleared this area out again. But it's going to be an interesting little fight. It's all going to come down to how much artillery Hanerius can produce. looking pretty peaky on the eco front. Just 78 mass income there for Hanarius. Take a look at the reclaim figures. 15,000 mass scooped up there by account. 40,000 mass, by contrast, scooped up by his mirror there, Smurf Hunter. So he's doing very nicely indeed. Unit cap reached for Smurf Hunter just as we're looking at 1,000 units on the field for him. 6,000 mass there for Bearman. Crusaders sitting on 15,000. And Denarius, 22,000. Not too shabby, it has to be said. So he's done reasonably well out of it. But of course, there's been a lot of fighting on this area. A lot of that scoop would have been him reclaiming his own base structures that have been taken out. Colossus doing the tango whilst under Fat Boy fire. Never the best time for such things. Sim speed still running at -1. It's not too bad considering. I'd like to cast a lot more of these kinds of things, but sometimes the sim speed gets down to -3, -4 for protracted periods of the battle, and it really does become semi-unwatchable. I had one or two epics like that already. And this Salem just strolling past this group of Mantis who immediately get thwarted by the hillside. And the GC actually deciding to chase it down. And as much as I might loathe the Cyberans, there's something so cool about a walking destroyer. Another Fat Boy moving forward now. That one that was putting fire on that GC. And that GC not actually wanting, obviously, to engage, spend any more time on it. Probably thinking a better bet will be to go up the cliffs in the water and emerge in the base. Wouldn't be a bad idea. But manages to take out that Salem regardless. Another Fat Boy under construction there. And still this old base of Jackie's still in commission. It's not really a priority though, I suppose, for Bear Hunter to worry about. Commander's gone. But once again, Anarius having naval issues from his mirror there. Miasma's returning fire. Doing a pretty good job of it as well. One cruiser down, another one down to 125. Another one down up here. So Bearman's got to be on the case with his micro if he wants to break Hanarius again. GC trying to chase him down, in fact. That's what they're trying to run away from. Support commander up here getting a haircut from those artillery shells flying overhead. Still regular TAC missile barrages coming out of Account's corner going after this navy, this residual naval group. So many governors in there though. Hardly any of those missiles make it to the bulwark shields. What, if anything, can Team 2 do about this? Now, despite Smurf Hunter having the larger eco, he has larger mass and larger energy. Energy's on a par, but considerably larger mass, at least for the moment, unless that's all reclaim. 469 to 424 looks roundabout. But you get the feeling that Account is somehow still ahead in the air game. In fact, let's just take a look at what they've got on the field ASFs wise right now. So 160 odd ASFs there for SC Account, and Smurf Hunter running just 50. So yeah, I mean, he's been behind the whole game, and it really has been what's allowed Team 2 to stay in this. I don't blame him. Account can be pretty formidable. Once again, this Colossus trying to chase down this GC. just say that? It's getting tired. It's getting late. It's Colossus trying to chase down this Fat Boy, but only to walk on into another Fat Boy's fire as well. So taking double the amount of pain. We've got Shockers coming in over the top, so Strap Bombers coming in from a count, trying to find a solution. To these Fat Boys. GC though down and out for the moment. As the game descends into -2. Still a small collection of boats in here for Bearman, putting pressure on Anarius. He's trying to build enough T2 P-Gens to block out all this damage. It's a ton of artillery pieces though, and they're not cheap. They really aren't, but finally that right bank of shield gens buckles. Still a couple of, or a volley of T2 artillery fire could really clean this up. There are 2 cruisers that literally just need to be sneezed on and they're going to sink. But nice micro here from Bearman is keeping those boats in commission. Team 2 just kind of pinned on this side of the map at the moment. Strap bombers being produced now from a count. What, if anything, is going on the rest of the field? We've got a Tsar in production, one lowly engineer. Tsar is all well and good, but if you haven't got air control, mind you, he is pumping out the ASFs at a substantial rate. Where is he up to now? 177 plus 66 from the UEF camp. That might be good enough for air control. 200 ASFs there for a count. So in terms of numbers, consolidate those 2 there for Team 1. It's a pretty good situation to be in. Slowly, Hanarius' little firebase here is getting beaten down. She says my firebase is falling just as I say it. Down goes that shield gen. Just this one over here, but most of the miasmas now out from under the covers. Oh, so many of these cruisers are crippled. 1, 2, 3 cruisers in a Salem with virtually no HP on them whatsoever. Just keep making shields, says Account. He's going to get this one up in time to save this bank, I think, just as the right one dies down. He's lacking build capacity, though. Just a couple of engineers in place. New shield now up, another one going down. And he's killing off these ships. More arriving all the time, though, of course. Count would love to help him, I'm sure, with some solaces, but he's got to be absolutely the most careful individual you've ever seen if he's to deal with this now. He cannot make a single mistake. If he does, it is handing victory over to Team 1. Smurf Hunter now gaining the upper hand in the air. It is, or at least wiping out that advantage. That's a ton of shockers coming over from Smurf Hunter as well. Certainly enough to grab a comm snipe. Anarius down here looking rather exposed. One quick bombing run should end that. But is he going to try and clear the way first? He looks like he is. He's moving in his ASFs over to this side. How is Account going to respond? He's got to deal with this GC first before he can focus on much else. That GC is getting awfully close. Doesn't want to lose all this build capacity. Doesn't want to lose that T3 air factory. He's got a bug back here, though. That's been spammed up incredibly quickly. I did wonder why he was upgrading that Cybran air factory at the back there. Needed T3 engineers, of course, to start producing that. And here we go. in come the ASFs from Smurf Hunter, and currently all the ASFs there from Account landed. They're going to take off. How is that going to affect the balance of power in this? It's going to be interesting. GC moving in very, very close indeed now to Account's base. So my system struggles to keep up the amount of projectiles on the field. Still more shockers coming in over the top. But the strap bombers are coming in now from Smurf Hunter, going straight after Anarius. And of course, there's not much or anything that Account can do about it. Suddenly, the sim speed clears up a little bit. Away the bombs go. Immediately, those shields drop, and Smurf Hunter knocks Honarius out of the battle at minute 39, going on 40. Sim speed clearing up to -2, and I don't believe it. Account looks like he's winning this. In comes the bug over here. He's got to worry about that GC. It does change tack to deal with it. Those strap bombers do get taken out, but I can't believe how comprehensively that air battle has gone in favor of Account. That's unreal. That GC homing in on all this build capacity. The question is, does Account self-destruct those engineers and prevent that guy from getting any more veterans? He's got to be tempted as he start a mass reclaim. Yes, he does. Knocks off a few extra hit points there. And he's just going to knock that GC out of commission just as it was getting into dangerous, very dangerous territory, and that deposits a large group of mass on his doorstep. But look at this, 3 fat boys coming in from Crusader. The trouble is there's no air coverage now. Account has decimated, sorry, people don't like that word, annihilated the air coverage from Team 1, so that bug only has to worry about these skyboxers, otherwise he can operate with complete impunity, and that is going to be 3 dead fat boys right on SC Account's base. That's a ton of mass, with support commanders right next to it, ready to pick it up at a moment's notice. M&B still in the game watching, talking about nukes being ready. I must have missed nukes being placed over there for Team 1. So it is SC Account versus 3. SC Account has the most mass on the field right now, 477, but only just. Smurf Hunter on 469. And Bearman on 240 and Crusader on 230. A wave of ASFs flying in now for Smurf Hunter. Finally knocks that bug out, but of course it's still just sitting there ready to be picked up. Unless of course that fat boy manages to kill the Rex. Look at that Revenant strategic bomber incoming to take out the wreck there from Bearman. Very nice indeed. So worried about the amount of mass that's coming Account's way. As we go back to normal view, those Salems from that bottom pond coming in to finish off what's left of Anarius's old base. Going after those T2 gens on the hillside there. And I am very impressed that Account's still in this. There's not a great deal of stinging power on this side of the map now for Team 1. Got drops coming in of engineers only for Bearman. Probably wants to start up a mini base down here. Grab all of Honarius's older mass. It's going to be tough to do though. Bugs on the field, shockers on the field. One strap bomb in here. that is the end of that little group. Question is, what is the play now? Who does account go after? And of course, it's not as easy just going for the snipe. Full share is on. So you have to destroy all of the stuff. There's a little bit of overkill there from a few strap bombers going after that mechs. Probably those P-gens would be just as important, if not more. How is account doing on mass and power? He's on the breadline, so if he'd have taken out those 3 T3 power plants, he really would have slowed things up. But he was only on the breadline because he's producing colossal amounts of stuff. Strap bombers, another bug online. 2 bugs and air superiority. That is nasty indeed, and it doesn't even look like he's particularly bothered by Bearman's incursions down here. He's not even dispatching 1 bomber to deal with these engineers that are landed. Currently they're not doing anything. Admittedly, Bearman's busy elsewhere. He's evacuating them all from over here. Well, why not? If you ain't using them. Now, where are the commanders? And Mavor being built from Crusader. That is crazy. And he's got quite a lot of it done as well. But why would you do that? I don't understand. You need killing power. You need tools to defend you from the impending air attack that's coming your way. Surely that's going to be such a mass sink. And if you're going to build a Mavor, I mean, I know his build capacity's up here, but why build it up here? It can reach the whole map. It's incredibly dangerous positioning for it. Not what I would have chosen. And Smurf Hunter spots it, saying, don't build a Mavor. It'll lose you the game, or lose us the game. So many shockers. Strap bombers moving out. Soul Rippers moving in tandem. It looks to me like account's going to bypass Crusader. Seems to be prioritizing Bearman for the moment. Where is that commander? Smurf Hunter's commanders in this pond. That's obviously what Count is searching for with all those spy planes, but another colossal engagement, and look at the amount of ASFs that Smurf Hunter has managed to get together after losing a colossal air battle just a few moments ago. But he's allowed a count in behind him again, and he's losing tons of ASFs. Oh, I think that's another win in the air for account. So account is just getting colossal victory after colossal victory in the sky. These shockers coming in, going after Smurf Hunter's comm. Nice little bit of micro there. This is going to be close. Oh my god, 350 hit points. He gets back into the water. The ASFs tidy the rest of those up. My god, that was close. Absolutely unreal. Bugs now crossing the water. Jackie's making reference to. He's still watching this game. But still, air dominance in the sky. Tons of ASFs in place and more strategic bombers being built and 2 bugs to boot in play. Look at the amount of skyboxes that Crusader's pumping out. That's all he's concerned about at the moment, is building flak. He's reduced the amount of build power on that Mavor down to just 2 engineers. He's rebuilding or refocusing on fatties. Smurf Hunter looking considerably more healthy, but still on just 1,300 hit points. There's Bearman. And the bugs are incoming. Does he get in the water? I think he should. He's got a decent amount of Burstmasters. He's pumping out Myrmidons. I guess he wants to keep on land as long as possible to try and get enough static defense in place to finish off these bugs. They seem to be going straight after Smurf Hunter. Will a ground fire do it? Yes, a ground fire will do it. Smurf Hunter gets ejected at minute 45. Who is going to get control of the ASF factories? That's the question. And will it make any difference? Count looking very dominant right now. Imagine that's going to go to Bearman. He's higher on score, double the score nearly of Crusader. See how much mass Account got. He's up to 118,000 reclaim. So those experimentals that came with Crusader causing real havoc, dishing out mass to Account, but now bugs landing right on top of Bearman. Might lose one bug in this, switching it up, going after the Sams for a moment, then retargeting Bearman. He needs to get this guy out of commission. One of the bugs finished off, the other one's still going strong. 50% of its HP still intact, and on he moves. And this is unreal. Account just now breezing through his opponents. Lots of build capacity was down here for Bearman, throwing up a Monkey Lord ASAP. That will switch hands now to Crusader, who jumps up to 500 and, well, he's on 555 mass at the moment, so that was taken into account. Whoa. That just went through the roof and then plummeted again as he didn't have the power to complete the production efficiently. That is unreal. And rather curiously, all of this stuff has gone pop. And all of the stuff over here, answers on a postcard. What the hell happened? Shouldn't that have transferred to Crusader? Interesting. But still, this bug going strong, ranking up on free veterancy. He says thank you very much. All of those engineers going pop. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but this looks like it's going to be a more or less certain win now for Account and Team 2. I really didn't expect this after how stacked the teams were and how convincingly Team 1 had won the 2 ponds. Might potentially have been a different outcome had M&B not pushed so far forward with his comm. That bug just goes from place to place now, picking up what kills again. He needs to get in here and wipe out all these engineers, take out these factories, and he will be assured of perpetual air dominance for the rest of this game. Jackie says he thinks the Mavor will be finished soon. No, it won't, because he did stop building. But Crusader just looking a little bit impotent right now. What do you do against all this? And what he does is he teleports into hostile waters. He knows it's over, surely. Bunch of shockers taking off. Will they ground fire it? Yes, they will. So, victory to SC Account and Team 2. Very well played by everyone. So, 49 minutes gone, but I'm pretty sure at the sim speed running at what it was running at was probably a much longer cast. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that, guys. As always, more to come from me in the future. In the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle signing out.